Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So as I did basically update you earlier on, in regards to Paul Pogba, of course. So there has been a lot of news circulating around the media today in relation to Paul Pogba. Reportedly, Paul Pogba's reportedly told his Manchester United teammates that he's intending on leaving the club this summer as well, because recently he's been in a bad vein of form as Paul Pogba, to be quite honest with you as well. Potentially, one of his good wishes, was obviously, when Jose Mourinho left the club as well, because obviously Paul Pogba, of course, had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho. But since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, he has been one of our most influential players as Paul Pogba. But I think in the last 5 or 6 games, his performances have been way below par. Potentially, he's supposed to be one of the best midfielders in the world, is Paul Pogba. But most recently, he has failed to replicate that, to be quite honest with you. But I think Paul Pogba is intending on making a move to Real Madrid this summer, because there has been a lot of narratives, going on about it. Obviously about 3 weeks ago, Paul Pogba, was talking a lot about Real Madrid, to be quite honest with you. And obviously, Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of the player as well, because Zinedine Zidane is emphasising his targets this summer. He's got quite a few players he's interested in recommending, to go into Real Madrid. But one of them, of course, is Paul Pogba as well. From Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference, he's spoken to Paul Pogba, as we all know, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still convinced he will be at Manchester United next season, reportedly, and he is convinced that Paul Pogba will not leave, and he's convinced that he's still focused on Manchester United. Is Paul Pogba as well, because potentially, he is a World Cup winner, to be quite honest with you. And obviously, one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priorities, is to keep Paul Pogba here and to keep David De Gea at the club as well. But he has been heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid. As I did currently say, quite a few weeks ago, he was talking a lot about Real Madrid, but I think Manchester United are set to begin contract negotiations with Paul Pogba. He is under contract still with the club until 2021. These an option of third year as well, so he has still got over 2 years left on his deal. Potentially, he's heading into his 4th season now as a Manchester United player. Of course, Manchester United paid £89 million to him from Juventus back in 2016. Obviously, there has been talks that he could make a return back to Italy to his former club Juventus. I think also Barcelona, were linked to him last year as well. But his agent Mariola, has had a couple of negotiations with Real Madrid over the summer move. He's also, been to Manchester, to negotiate a summer move for Paul Pogba as well. So there has been a lot of talks, going on about it as well. As I did currently say as well, reports came out the other week saying that Manchester United are set to offer him the captain's armband on a permanent basis, to convince him to stay at the club as well. So potentially reports came out quite a few weeks back saying if he was to sign a new contract with the club, he was demanding an astronomical salary of around £500,000 a week. In his current deal at the moment, he's on £300,000 a week. So it allegedly said he was demanding a £200,000 pay rise, if he was to stay at Manchester United. But I think Paul Pogba is not intending on spending the rest of his playing career in England with Manchester United. And of course, Champions League football is very, very essential, for next season, of course, as well. And obviously, a player of Paul Pogba's calibre, wants to be in Champions League football, and top 4 is still a possibility, for Manchester United. Obviously now we've got 4 pivotal games left, and every single one of them are pivotal, of course, and we've got to win all of them, of course, because obviously we do want Champions League football for next season, so we can attract players to the highest level as well. So a lot of rumours have been going on about it today that reportedly Paul Pogba has notified the Manchester United teammates that he's intending on leaving the club this summer as well. And I think it could cost Real Madrid up to £150 million, something like that. But I don't think Man United, are willing to let him go, because I think Solskjaer wants to keep him, because when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer managed the Manchester United reserve team, of course, he watched some of this team at this day and age, grow and develop and all that. And of course, one of them was Paul Pogba as well. So it potentially, could be on his way out of the club in the summer. So potentially at the moment, his future is up in the air, to be quite honest with you. But we have seen the best of him since Solskjaer's coming. But in the last 5 or 6 games, his performances have been way below par indeed. And we are expected, to orchestrate a big summer clear out, as we all currently know. But in the summer, we've got to get the players that have got the right, have got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. And we still at least 3 years off, being that competitive elite level football club, as we was under Alex Ferguson. But we have been in a bad vein of form recently. We've lost 6 of our last 8 games as well. And a lot of the blame, is the players, because they haven't been playing for the shirt. They're not playing for the club and all that as well. Some of the blame does stem from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Some of his tactics tactics are questionable, to be quite honest with you. But don't forget, this is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team. He's inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. There's still some players here from Louis van Gaal as well. And we do know, I still think Solskjaer's the right man. I do think he can take this team forward, to be quite honest with you. But he's looking to build a squad worthy of the club's history as well. But I still believe he's the right man for Manchester United. I do believe he can elevate us forward as well. He hasn't got a great managerial pedigree. Don't get me wrong about it. He hasn't got a great managerial pedigree. Hasn't really got the experience, to be quite honest with you. But he is planning to rebuild this summer as well. The board are going to be backing him this summer, of course. Obviously, I think we're going to get around £250 million this summer. Obviously, we're looking to hire a director of footballing, to come in as well, to change the structure of the club and all that. And as I did say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need backing in this summer. And he's good. He's obviously, making plans over the summer. And I think from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference, he wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club this summer, because we didn't spend out in January. We didn't get as priority targets last summer, of course, as well. And potentially our recruitment policy is very, very poor indeed as well. So we're going to get around 200 odd million. Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions in. You can see the deficiencies in the squad as well, but he's identified, the positions, where of course he thinks Manchester United do need to strengthen up. But we do know a lot of money's being spent at the club. About nearly £700 million has been spent, since Alex Ferguson retired. We've had different managers with different philosophies, of course. So we have been playing catch up for the last 5-6 years or something like that as well. But we've got to get the right players in this summer. Maybe some people are saying, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. Maybe not spend too much money on one player, because there's quite a few players out there, for a reasonable figure as well. So I just wanted to update you on that news about Paul Pogba as well, as he updated you on my earlier video today as well about obviously Manchester United are in search for a right back, and we've emphasised quite a few targets who could fulfill that right back position. And there's been a lot of talks going on about Thomas Meunier as well, as he updated you earlier on. Thomas Meunier is 27 years of age. He plays for the Paris Saint-Germain, as we all know. I think he's got about just over a year left on his current contract term as Thomas Meunier, and I think he's been at PSG, a number of years now. He has won quite a lot of honours, to be quite honest with you, but he can score goals, he can provide. His defensive abilities are very, very good as well, and we probably, could maybe get him for a reasonable figure this summer, Thomas Meunier. But Manchester United reportedly have showed an interest in Thomas Meunier. He's 27. He's also about 6'3", so he's tall. So that is very, very beneficial as well. And I think he's got the abilities, to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. He's 27, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. And he's been a good addition, in France, with Paris Saint-Germain as well. I think he's also a former Club Brugge player as well as Thomas Meunier. But, we're in search for the right back, of course, because obviously we're looking for someone, who can replace Antonio Valencia with the club, because obviously Valencia's on his way out of Manchester United this summer. This is his 10th season now at Manchester United, of course. The club opted against the decision, to give him that new 1-year extension as well. So he's going to leave on a free in the summer when his contract term expires. Antonio Valencia, of course, and obviously Ash Young, of course. He's been a good servant here. He's been here about 8 years. I think he's made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions as Ashley Young as well. But we do know he's the problem now. He's Ashley Young, of course. He was a good winner, back in the day, was Ashley Young. But for me, he's making mistakes, week in, week out. Of course, I think it was bad business from the club, giving him that new 1-year extension. So I would like to see him, leave the club this summer as well. Ashley Young. Obviously, we've got Diego Dalot, as a right back as well, and he's still in the process of developing. Don't get me wrong, he's Diego Dalot, but we do need a backup, to Diego Dalot, to be quite honest with you. So we do need someone on that right hand side. So Thomas Meunier has been a potential Manchester United target. We do know we showed an interest in Tottenham's Kieran Trippier. There's also been a lot of talks about Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents, of course, and it's good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer showed an interest in quite a few young upcoming prospects as well, and he showed an interest in quite a few British players. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been a potential Manchester United target. He's available. I think he's valued at around £40 million, something like that. He only broke into the Crystal Palace first team last year as well. So there also has been a lot of talks about him going on as well. And potentially we do know that Manchester United are in search for the central defender, as we all know, because we need someone obviously that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline. I probably think maybe £250 million would be probably enough to bring at least 5 new additions to the club this summer, because that's going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's spending spree, as I said. But we do need a central defender that can go alongside Victor Lindelof, and we do know potentially a lot of Manchester United fans would like us to recommend Koulibaly to come in in or Rafael Varane to come in, but, one of them, going to cost Manchester United, quite a bit of money, because Koulibaly, Manchester United have potentially, got to pay a world record fee for Koulibaly, if we've got any chances of getting him this summer. Of course, obviously Manchester United being long admirers of the Senegal international, because we were linked to him in January. We had 3 bids turned down. We were linked to him last summer as well, but Napoli, weren't willing to sanction him off back in the January transfer window as well. He's got a contract with Napoli till 2023, as you all know. He recently signed this new deal as well. But I think Manchester United are going to have to pay at least in the region of around £100 million, to convince Napoli, to do any business this summer. But he's 27. He is nearly 28 years of age now. He's Koulibaly. His defensive abilities are good. He shows that ability, that he can play out from the back. He's very, very good in the air as well. And he's done very, very well in Italy, with Napoli. And he's grown, developed and flourished fantastically well. He's been at Napoli a number of years as well as Koulibaly. So I think Man United are still going to go in for him in the summer as well. And he looked very, very good alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. Potentially, as we all know, there's been talks of Rafael Varane, about him, going on in the media as well. And that I like Rafael Varane a lot. He's only 25 years of age, and it's remarkable, what he's achieved as a Real Madrid player, because he spent the majority of his career in Spain. This is now his 8th season with Real Madrid. He's Rafael Varane's, of course. I think he's made nearly 300 odd appearances for Real Madrid in all competitions. I think he's won about 15, 16 major honours as well. So it's quite remarkable, what he's achieved. I think he's got a release clause in his current deal of around £400 odd million, something like that as well. And maybe Real Madrid are demanding that. They do want that to be triggered if they are willing to sanction him off this summer. I don't think Real Madrid want to lose him. I think Zinedine Zidane, is a big admirer of the player. He wants to keep Rafael Varane at Real Madrid as well. But reports did stem back. The reports were stemming from Spain a while back, saying that reportedly Rafael Varane is considering leaving Real Madrid this summer as well. And I think he's still got a contract with Real Madrid till 2022, but he is only 25 years of age. So it would be good for him, to come and experience English football. See how his performances, would element. See if his performances, would be good in English football as well. And I think if he came to English football, I think he'd, produce the same element of performances, that he has been doing, for Real Madrid as well. Indeed, so I'd love him at Manchester United, of course, but I don't know if Real Madrid, to be quite honest with you, are willing to sanction him off. Obviously, we know there's a cheaper alternative to the likes of Koulibaly and Rafael Varane, and that's Tottenham's Toby Alderweireld. And I think, he'd be a good upgrade in our defence, of who we've currently got at the moment, because Alderweireld is nowhere near the same calibre or level as the likes of Koulibaly or the Rafael Varanes or Diego Gordons, the top class central defenders or the Sergio Ramoses. But for me, I still think he'd be good enough, to fulfil that central defensive position in our back line, of course. Toby Alderweireld, of course, is well Premier League proven as well. He is available, don't forget, for £25 million this summer. I think he does want to leave Tottenham, because he's blatantly said, as Toby Alderweireld, well, he hasn't said out, but he's refused to sign a new contract. Obviously, Tottenham back in January, of course, activated the 12-month extension and included this £25 million release clause. Man United were heavily linked last summer, but obviously, we couldn't come to an agreement, to get Alderweireld last summer. But he's been in the Premier League a number of years now, as we all know. Recent reports did say that Arsenal have also showed an interest in Alderweireld as well. So for me, I think he'd be a good leader in our backline, if he was to come in. But yeah, if a new central defender is to come in this summer, Eric Bailly's future, could be in serious doubt at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you, because Eric Bailly, of course, I think he's heading into his 4th season now as a Manchester United player, but he's found game time very, very difficult, especially, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, because Solskjaer's preferred the likes of Smalling and Jones ahead of him. I still highly rate Bailly, he's got great potential as Eric Bailly. Of course, we paid £30 million for him in 2016 from Villarreal. It was actually one of Jose Mourinho's first signings, obviously, as well, because Jose Mourinho did buy 11 players when he was here, but obviously I think the first signing, was Eric Bailly, to be quite honest with you. But if a new centre-back is to come in this summer, his future could be in serious doubt. I think he's still out at the moment, reportedly, with a concussion. I think he's still got that head injury as Eric Bailly as well. So we definitely, we've got to bring a central defender in, and we need someone that can come in, and address our defensive deficiencies as well. Potentially for me, we do need a couple of additions in midfield, as we all know as well. As I did say, Paul Pogba's future's up in the air. Potentially, Ander Herrera. I really like Ander Herrera. The Vasque Ander. I really like him a lot. As I did update you, obviously he hasn't been playing, recently. Obviously, due to injury and all that. Potentially, this is Ander Herrera's 5th season at Manchester United. He has made 187 appearances in all competitions, and I think he's going to be available to play this evening against Manchester City. Which is very, very good news, because he does make a difference in that midfield. When he's hitting top form and when he's playing really, really well. Ander Herrera. So if he plays tonight, he should put a good performance out, because he hasn't played, for quite a bit. Due due to injury as well. But recent reports have said, obviously, he has agreed a deal to join PSG on a free transfer, and I think it's a 3-year deal, worth around £150,000 a week. But can somewhere online, can Manchester United convince him to stay at the club? Allegedly, reports came out, was it about 4 weeks ago, saying that he was demanding £200,000 a week for Manchester United. Reportedly, Man United were not willing to meet his £200,000 a week wage demand, so potentially it's reportedly said he's agreed a deal to join PSG on a free at the end of the season as well. And this is his 5th season, as I said. I think we paid about just under, was it £30 million in from Atletico Bilbao back in 2014 as well. But he does make a difference in that midfield when he's in that midfield. And we do know mainly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice midfield trio has been, when he has come in, is obviously been Herrera, Matic and Pogba. Obviously, based on the injuries, we've had and all that. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's had to rotate that, of course, as well. And obviously, there has been players, underperforming as well. So for me, we need a centre defensive midfielder, that's fast and tenacious as well. But we've been interested. We are looking to get a couple of additions in midfield. As I said, we've been interested, in quite a few midfielders. And, there's been a lot of talks about Atletico Madrid, Saul Niguez going on as well. And I do really, really like Saul Niguez, to be quite honest. What I've seen of him as well, I've looked at some of his statistics and all that. Saul Niguez is 24. He's Spanish as well. So if Herrera is to leave this summer, do you think he'd be a good replacement for Herrera? If Saul Niguez, was to come in. Saul Niguez, he'd cost quite a bit of money though. I think he's got a release clause in his deal with Atletico Madrid. I think around 128 million. He has spent the majority of his career in Spain with Atletico Madrid. Graduated from their youth system and all that. And I think he's made like over 200 odd appearances. For Atletico Madrid as well. But he is versatile. This player, he can play as a defensive mid. He can play as a central mid. You can also put him on the right hand side as well. So he is versatile. So do you think he'd be the right solution? To come to Manchester United this summer? But we've identified him as a potential replacement for Herrera. If Herrera is to leave the club this summer, which is looking very, very likely indeed. So there has been a lot of talks about him. It said Manchester City were also interested in Saul Niguez. We do know there's been a lot of talks about Declan Rice as well, going on. Declan Rice is a mainly defensive midfielder. I think he can play as a central defender as well, but I think he's still in the process of developing, to be quite honest. He's only 20 years of age. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents, but I've analysed his performances this season for West Ham. They've been very, very impressive indeed. Of Declan Rice's, and he's growing, developing and flourishing fantastically well under Manuel Pellegrini. He did get a new contract back in December last year with West Ham. He got a new long-term contract, so now he's under contract with West Ham until 2024. But I think if West Ham were willing to offload him this summer, they would demand that they want around £50 million for Declan Rice, and he's available for a reasonable figure, of course, as well. So do you think if he was to get recommended to come in, do you think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield, Declan Rice as well? And he has been in the West Ham senior squad, quite a few years. I think he's made just under about 60 senior appearances, something like that, for West Ham. He initially, began his career with Chelsea. In their youth academy, and I think he was there a number of years. Was Declan Rice, and I think he joined Chelsea at the age of 7, and then I think he got axed off at the age of 14. To be quite honest with you as well. So there has been talks about him going on. Obviously, we do know Manchester United have also been linked with Sporting Lisbon's Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes, he's teared it up in Portugal. His performance has been really, really good. I think he has been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of years now as Bruno Fernandes as well. I think he's mainly an attacking midfielder is Bruno Fernandes. He is mainly attacking midfielder is Bruno Fernandes. As I did say, he's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of years now. I think he's got a release clause in his deal with Sporting Lisbon of around, £90 million, something like that. Reports have been stemming from Portugal saying that Manchester United have been in negotiations with his representatives over summer transfer as well. He initially played the majority of his career in Italy, when he was younger, of course, as well did Bruno Fernandes, because he's an ex-Sampdoria. He's also an ex-Udinese player as well, but he is only 24 years of age. He's Bruno Fernandes as well, so there has been talks about him going on. There's also been a lot of talks about, Benfica's Joe Felix, going on as well, as he updated you on a regular basis about him. Man United scouts have been watching Bruno Fernandes. Man United scouts have also, been watching Joe Felix as well. Joe Felix is only 19 years of age, but he only broke into the Benfica first team last year, did Joe Felix, and I don't think he's yet made his senior debut for Portugal, but reportedly his performances have been very, very good. I think he's got a buyout clause of around £100 million or something like that as Joe Felix as well. But yeah, Manchester United have been interesting, and there was a lot of talks going on about that back in January as well, that quite a few teams had been interested in Benfica's Joe Felix as well. So potentially, do you think he'd be a good addition, if he was to come to Manchester United this summer as well? well. He's also Portuguese, and he's only 19 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him as well. But as I did currently say, yeah, Man United are linked with a lot of players, to be quite honest with you, and we do basically know the club's number one priority target, is obviously, Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho, but we do know he's going to cost Manchester United at least around £100 million this summer, and that's if Borussia Dortmund, are willing to sanction him off, but we do need someone young and ambitious on that right-hand side. We do need someone that can play between the bylines, someone that can put crosses into the box as well, and Jadon Sancho is capable of doing this. He has still got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022, but he's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of years now, and recent reports did indicate out saying that reportedly he's interested in making a return back to Manchester. Is Jadon Sancho, because obviously he's a former Manchester City player, where he did serve a couple of years as well, but I don't think he ever got into the first team, Jadon Sancho, and this is the main reason why I left City and went to Borussia Dortmund. And Borussia Dortmund, don't get me wrong, have been known for doing business with their players, but we do know it's going to cost Manchester United a 9-figure sum this summer, if we are to get him as well, and if we were to get him in the summer, it'd make him the most expensive English footballer ever as well. So I still think he is the club's number one priority target, is Jadon Sancho as well. There's another player I do really like as well, and Jadon Sancho's British as well, and he's one of England's youngest upcoming talents. He's just turned 19 years of age not too long ago, and there's been another player there's been a lot of talks about going on as well, as I've updated you on, and that's what's his name now, Harivan Lasagna or something like that, as I've updated you before. He does play for PSV. Reportedly his performances have been very, very good for PSV as well. He can play as a winner. He can also play as a forward as well. There has been a lot of talks about Harivan Lasagna as well, and he is available for a reasonable figure this summer. I think he's got a release clause of around £34 million. His performances in the World Cup last summer, were very, very good for Mexico as well. I think Manchester United have been scouting him for a number of years now, and I think Manchester United have held negotiations with his agent, Riley Ola as well, Harivan Lasagna. But as I did say, his nickname I think is Chucky, something like that, but he can play as a winner. He can also play as a forward as well, so I think he'd be the right solution, if he came to Manchester United this summer as well, because obviously, reports a while back, did say that Harivan Lasagna, was keen on, making a move to Manchester United this summer, and he did say quite a few weeks back that he's, spoken to Xavi Hernandez. Obviously, Xavi Hernandez is a former Manchester United player. Xavi Hernandez served about 5 years at the club, and Harivan Lasagna, was speaking to him, asking him about life at Old Trafford and that, and obviously, Xavi Hernandez had told him, and Xavi Hernandez has actually, urged, Harivan Lasagna, to come to Manchester United this summer as well. So there has been talks about that Harivan Lasagna, going on as well. But yeah, we're linked with a lot of players, to be quite honest with you as well. But it's very, very essential that we've got to get the right players to Manchester United this summer as well. But as I did say, I think at least up to 6 players, could depart the club in the summer as well. Don't know what's going on with David De Gea at the moment as well. We've not yet come to an agreement, to get him a new contract at the club. David De Gea, of course, this is now his 8th season at Manchester United. He has been a good servant to the club, and he's been really, really, bad recently. He's made quite a few mistakes as David De Gea. As I did say, I don't know if it's something to do with the contract issue. David De Gea is still potentially, the best goalkeeper in the world, without a shadow of a doubt, indeed. Recent reports did say a while back that reportedly was demanding like £350,000 a week from Manchester United, if he was willing to sign a new contract. In his current deal at the moment, De Gea's on about £200,000 a week, so he is demanding like a £150,000 pay rise, something like that as well. We do know Real Madrid have been long admirers of him, of course. We do know recent reports came out, was it a couple of weeks back, something like that, saying that PSG had also been interested in David De Gea as well, but he's won everything here domestically. He has made over 300 appearances in all competitions for the club as well. He has won the club's player of the year, 4 out of 5 seasons as David De Gea, so we have not yet, come to an agreement to get him a new contract, and I definitely want Smalling and Jones out of the club in the summer as well, because for me, they're no longer good enough, to represent Manchester United. And to be fair to Chris Smalling, he's been a long-serving player with the club, just like Jones, but this is Smalling's 9th season at Manchester United. I think he has made over 300 appearances in all competitions, but Chris Smalling, of course, since he did recover from that long-term absence, mainly Solskjaer has been going with Smalling and Lindelof as a centre-back partnership. To be fair, some of his performances have really, really improved Chris Smalling's, but he's aging up now, to be quite honest, and I don't think he's good enough, to represent Manchester United. He's good enough, to represent Manchester United, Chris Smalling, and I think it was a mistake, Manchester United, giving new long-term contracts, to Smalling and Phil Jones as well. I think Phil Jones has been here about 8 years or something like that as well. So yeah, I want them both out of Manchester United this summer as well. I think Marcus Rojo is going to be on his way out as well, because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Manchester United. Has sustained quite a few injuries as well, and I think it's taken its toll on him. I think it's affected his Manchester United career. Really, really bad indeed. I also think Man Utd is definitely going to be on his way out of the club in the summer, because Darmian's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player. To be fair, really hasn't been given the opportunity, in a Manchester United shirt, Matty Darmian. So potentially, I think he could be on his way out in the summer as well. Matic, I don't think Matic is reliable enough, to be quite honest. I never wanted us. Well, I was happy when we signed him, but, obviously, he wasn't our number one priority target, obviously, a couple of years back, because we had other midfielders in mind, who were much, much better, than Nemanja Matic, but we ended up signing Nemanja Matic, didn't we? But for me, he's not reliable enough. He's too ineffective in that midfield, he's too slow. I've got strong reservations about him as well. So this is why I said we need a centre defensive midfielder, that's fast and tenacious as well. Definitely, I think Sanchez should be on his way out of the club in his summer. Obviously, he's just recovered from a knee injury as well, and he has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. But Sanchez, of course, is no longer playing to the highest level, as we all know. He is age 30. He has lost that yard of pace as well. And as I did say, he has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. And for me, that's not good enough, for a player that is, the highest paid player at the club, also the highest paid player in the Premier League as well. So that's just not good enough. And when he has been given the chance, he's been so inconsistent. He's lacked goals, and he's just looked so restricted. To be quite honest, when he has played as well. So for me, he's going to be on his way out in the summer. Maybe we may even consider loaning him out, because it will be difficult to find a buy for him, considering his substantial wages he's on. It will be difficult to find a buy for him, because not many teams probably will be able to afford, to pay Sanchez's wages off as well. And I think it's totally knacking our wage structure. It's having a bad effect on our wage structure, what currently Sanchez is receiving, because obviously, quite a few players now are demanding, quite a bit more money. And, Lukaku, there's been talks, that he could be going in the summer as well. For me, Lukaku isn't good enough, to represent Manchester United. I don't think he's good enough, to play to the highest level, to be quite honest, if you get what I mean. And do you know why? Because he bottles it against the big teams. He's not reliable enough, he doesn't really get enough of them runs in behind, to be quite honest. Maybe Lukaku may perform a bit better and look a bit more effective, when someone is supporting him, to be quite honest. But for me, he's too slow. His first touch concerns me, to be quite honest, as well. And he has got a good pedigree in the Premier League, don't get me wrong, but his finishing also, lets him down as well. He did score 27 goals in all competitions in his first season with Manchester United as well. But initially, Rashford his preferred choice over Romelu Lukaku, of course, as well. We did pay £75 million for him, plus 15 million in add-ons, which risen it up to £90 million. He's on about £250,000 a week. He's still got 3 years left on his current deal as Romelu Lukaku as well. If Man United are going to sell him this summer, obviously we'll look to recoup the initial £75 million. We may find it difficult, to recoup the initial funds, that we did pay for him, but we'll have to try and find someone. But a few teams have expressed their interest in him. It did say in Milan, Bayern Munich and PSG had been interested, but I think from Lukaku's preference, I think his preferred destination, would be going to Juventus as well. And basically, Lukaku's agent has currently revealed as well. Lukaku's agent basically revealed that his future is very, very open indeed. Obviously, I think Juan Mata is on his way out of the club in the summer as well. He's age 30 now, Juan Mata. Don't get me wrong, he has been a good servant to the club as Juan Mata, but he's age 30 now, as I said. He's no longer playing to the highest level. He has lost that yard of pace as well, and he can't even initially, get in the team, Juan Mata, to be quite honest with you. He's got a good pedigree in the Premier League. This is his 5th season at United, of course. In total, he's been in the Premier League about 7-8 years or something like that now. This is including his 2.5, 3 years he had with Chelsea, Juan Mata. But yeah, I still really, really like Juan Mata, to be quite honest with you, but he is no longer playing to the highest level, and he comes to an end of his contract at the end of the season as well as Juan Mata. So we are expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out. Solskjaer, wants to rebuild into that Manchester United team as well. He wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club in the summer. He still wants to bring 5 new additions, to the club in the summer. But I think 5 or 6 at least, players, could leave Manchester United this summer as well. And as you did see my preview, it's going to be a very, very big game this evening, between Manchester United and Manchester City. As I did say, we're hearing people saying, that we should drop the problematic players and, give the young players the opportunity. Because Solskjaer has got trust in the young players, to be quite honest. Because since he's been in, he has given everybody the chance, as he did say, he's give the players the chance to express themselves, give the young players the chance, the fringe players the chance as well, which he did say was going to do. But we can't risk playing inexperienced players, against a team like Manchester City, to be quite honest with you. And as I did basically say, every game now is pivotal till the end of the season for Manchester United. We've got 4 games left. We've got to win every single one of them, if we do want to keep our top 4 ambitions alive. Potentially, as I've already given you a bit of team news going into the game as well. Obviously, we know Luke Shaw suspended. Sorry, not Luke Shaw's not suspended, should I say. Luke Shaw has been suspended, of course. So this is why he hasn't been playing in the last couple of games. So he's no longer suspended now. So he is available tonight, Luke Shaw, which is very, very good. And I think he's been a big miss, to be quite honest with you. Bay, it's still reportedly saying that he's still got a head injury. Valencia, I haven't really heard much news about Valencia, to be quite honest with you. Jones is injured, which is very, very good news indeed. But for me, there's a majority of these players have got to really, really step up to the plate, to be quite honest with you. But the players, Solskjaer, I don't want Solskjaer to start young tonight. I want Matic dropped. I want Lukaku dropped. I don't want Sanchez, to start in the game as well. So that is the main thing indeed. But definitely players have got to really step up to the plate. The likes of Rashford, Martial and Jesse Lingard, they are the short-term problem at the moment, based on their poor run of performances. But they are still the long-term solution, to be quite honest with you. And I've been very, disappointed with Rashford. Rashford, for me, is a good player, but he's still in the process of developing. He hasn't graduated to that level yet. It could still take him a couple of years, to, graduate to that level, Marcus Rashford. But he is just still only young. He is only 21 years of age. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him as Marcus Rashford as well. And he's got immense talent, to be quite honest with you. But I think for the last couple of months now, his performances have been way below par. So he's got to step up to the plate tonight as Marcus Rashford. And, you've got Martial. He's young again. He's 23 years of age. He's got immense talent, and he was in good form earlier on in the season, was Anthony Martial. But more, at least in the last couple of months, his performances have been really below par. He's been very inconsistent indeed. And we know what Martial is capable of, to be quite honest, because he can perform very, very well. He can create that width very, very well. And he was in good form earlier on in the season, but most recently, he's failed to replicate that. And Jesse Lingard, he's 27 years of age. He knows what the club's all about, there's Jesse Lingard, but he hasn't been in good form, at least in the last couple of months with Jesse Lingard. So that trio I've been very, very disappointed with indeed. So for me, they've got to really, really step up to the plate of Lingard, Martial and Rashford. And Paul Pogba's got to step up to the plate as well. And this may be the kind of game where Paul Pogba, will put a performance in a shift for Manchester United, because it is against Manchester City, of course. We're coming up against one of the best teams in England, without a shadow of a doubt. But I've been very, very disappointed, in Paul Pogba as well. De Gea's got to step up to the plate as well. He's been making mistakes lately as well. So I already give you my starting 11 prediction in my preview, of course. We do potentially know Manchester City, a very, very good team. The well-established club. A lot of money's being spent into their team. The philosophy is good. The manager's good. They've got great, great players, as I said, of Manchester City, of course. And as I did say, this could prove decisive tonight, of who currently wins the league at the end of the season. It could prove decisive. It don't mean it will be, but it could prove decisive, who currently wins the league at the end of the season, of course. But you'll probably get a few stupid Man United fans saying we want to lose the game on purpose, so Liverpool, it stops Liverpool from winning the league. Because obviously I'm a Manchester United fan, but I still want us to get top 4, of course, and we've got to win every game now to the end of the season. But as I did currently say, I'd rather City win the league than Liverpool now, because obviously, City can't win the quadruple, of course. They could still win the treble, can Manchester City, of course. City are going for their 4th league title, as we all currently know. But I think Kevin De Bruyne is reportedly supposed to miss this game, because he came off injured against Tottenham at the weekend as well. But it's always good as a Manchester derby, to be quite honest with you. We can beat them on the day, if we put a performance in. We did it last season at the Etihad. We won by 3 goals to 2 after being 2-0 down as well. I know we lost the game at Old Trafford last season, was it 2-1 to Man City, and we lost at the Etihad this season by 3 goals to 1 earlier on in the season as well. So it's going to be a mouth-watering class. I'm really, really looking forward to it indeed, to be quite honest with you. But these players now have got to start playing for the shirt. They've got to start playing for the club. And, you've got to question the mentality of, the majority of these players. They have to take responsibility as well. Because we've been in a bad vein of form as well. So we'll see what happens, to be quite honest. I'm looking really, really, really forward to it indeed. But as I did wanted to give you an update, more news in relation to Paul Pogba as well. Reports are saying there's been a lot of There's been a lot of news circulating around the media today saying that Paul Pogba has reportedly told his Manchester United teammates that he's intending on leaving the club this summer, reportedly as well. So I think from his own preference, Pogba, I think his preferred destination, is to make the move to Real Madrid this summer. And this is why I think he's intending on going, Paul Pogba as well. But Man United don't want to lose him, of course. So if any offers did come in this summer, Man United would turn them down. But I think Paul Pogba wants to leave the club reportedly as well. But anyway, guys, drop your comments, slides below on the channel. If you do consider a subscriber to the channel, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. And I probably will be on after the game of the Manchester United Man City game. I probably will be on after the game to give my full-time reaction. But if I'm not, it will be tomorrow as well. So anyway, drop your comments, slides below on the channel. As I said, if you do consider a subscriber, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys.